All right, moving on, the United States is about to celebrate a historic milestone. The 4th of July will mark 250 years since America's founding fathers declared independence from Britain. Now, the occasion comes against the backdrop of an intensely polarized political climate in the country. Donald Trump has positioned himself at the center of the country's 250th anniversary events, presenting his presidency as a mission to save America from decline. However, Democratic leaders argue that Trump himself represents a threat to democratic institutions. The sharp divide has shaped a political environment in which both sides increasingly view the other as a danger to the country's future. Let's quickly take a look at how common folk are reflecting on the future and the state of American democracy. A new Reuters Ipsos poll reveals a striking level of uncertainty about the nation's future. 38% of the respondents say that they do not believe the U.S. will still exist as a single country 250 years from now. 62% contradict this opinion, and they say that they expect the nation to exist as a single entity. The poll also sheds light on the growing anxiety about the state of American democracy. 2/3 of respondents said that they believe the American democracy is in danger of failing. That includes 85% of the Democrats and half of all registered Republicans. The overall figure has risen to 64% from 57% earlier in a similar poll conducted last year. The increase is driven largely by a rise in concern among Republican voters. Now, growing anxiety about the future course comes at a time when the U.S. is heading for a high-stakes midterm election battle in November this year, when Democrats and Republicans will clash for the control of the House of Representatives. All right, quickly, let me go to our correspondent, Susan Teherani, joining us live on the broadcast from New York. Susan, this seems to be a high-stakes battle in November this year that we're looking at. It also comes right after the 250th anniversary celebrations of the American independence. But the interesting bit is, how more and more Republicans are also joining the chorus when they speak against Donald Trump. Is that a concern for the president and his party?
Yeah, well, regarding the 250th anniversary, really, 4th of July comes at a time when America is extremely polarized, and this ties into your question. But polarization is nothing new. From the founding fathers really having intense debates and arguments about the inception of how America should be and its constitution to the bipartisan fights that we see right now. Supporters say that this is part of the American experiment to reinvent and renew itself with generations. The critics say that democratic institutions are at stake. And President Trump, really positioning himself as a sort of the person that can bring back, quote unquote, American greatness, is at the heart of this matter. I found it very interesting that it will affect the president because Republicans are also concerned about democratic institutions. They're skeptical about the Democrats and what they would do if they take control of the House and the Senate come November, whereas the Democrats want to change that and they believe that the Republicans are the real threat. So it is concerning for President Trump, but I think when it comes to, sort of establishing the democratic values, Republicans are on the same page in supporting his agenda. It's the other issues that they're concerned about. But then the Democrats themselves, they're going to be going to the polls thinking that they have to uphold these democratic institutions by voting against Trump's candidate. So it's going to be very interesting. And I know we're short on time, but very quickly, I'm in New York, a very blue state. I just came back from Texas, which is a very red state. I will say that the optimism that I saw in Texas is very different from what I see here in New York. So yeah, that polarization is definitely witnessed even firsthand by me, but I think that'll inspire more people to go to the polls and vote for their candidates of choice.
Well, absolutely, Susan. And while we await the midterm elections, not just the United States, the entire world is waiting to see what happens. For now, of course, the 4th of July is where the focus is. The celebration is the focus. I'll leave it there. Thanks very much, Susan, for joining us.